What's going on, everyone? Juice Bags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. It is a fire week, so here we are on Elemental Rumble Hard, Coral Reef Town. I'm just getting started on fire week, but this is probably the map I'll grind. We do have Gates of Dragonfall in the mix as well. However, I feel like this one runs at a fairly decent speed and is not too bad of a grinder. So we're going to start off with a boost aura here. Run through everything real quick. On our boost aura, we're using diverse crit damage, diverse power, defense range, with destruction, boosted power, and all for one, since we're only using the one. And then, of course, we are going to bring along the PDS, Plasma Echo, Mass Destruction, and Vicious, with crit chance, defense rate, and anti-melee. So let's just go ahead and build it out. We're also going to be using some werewolf action, or a werewolf, with, all of our pylons and werewolf general on there. But let's go ahead and PDS it up. This is a map where the DU is friendly enough where we can do a nice PDS 10 stack here. So that's what we're going to do. It's a little wonky when you go right on the core here as far as the placements. Not super pretty because of the different elevation differences, but works out fairly well. So we're going to get 10 of them down here, and maybe. There we go. All right, then of course we want to throw all that on a buff beam. I am using diffusion on the buff beam, and that gets us all good and juicy with the range. And then we're going to throw our werewolf general. Oh wow, big old bit of placement derpage in the middle there, but whatever. It is working. It will still get the job done. Let's go with our pylons all right there. And for the bulk of the build, we are done. And now, of course, we're going to be using some of our biometric scanners as well. I got defense rate, tenacity, and defense range on mine. Deadly strikes, chilling pulse, and enhanced scan. And then for any of those healing issues, we've got anti-heal on our water aura. We got an electrocute lane up there. We actually don't have any water lanes, so we don't really need the water aura. That one up top is going to be immune to electrocute, so there's no point in throwing a water aura up there, but we can use them on the other lanes. So let's just throw, we'll throw a water aura right here. And then throw our scanner in. Now, this one, the enemies get slapped pretty hard right here as they come through this little underpass. So we're just going to throw one of those bad boys in. And we'll get our electrocute down as well. And then up here, you do want to give enemies room to come out. Sometimes they're not always, the PDS is not always going to get them right up in the spawn, so I like to usually bring it back down the bridge a little ways. Something like right there. Now, taking a look around, we're pretty much done with the build, but we can juice things up just a little bit more. We can throw like a reflect beam over here, which is going to trigger the diverse on the boost aura and give us a little core protection. Just out of the 1 out of a bazillion runs that a range mob decides to take a shot over there. And then we got 70 left. So, I mean, with the 70, we can continue to do just that and juice things up. So, why don't we go with, we'll go with a water aura there, and we'll go with a frost strike aura. And, yeah, I think that'll get it. We got 20 more DU, but I'm not even really going to bother with swapping the deck around anymore. Since I'm using defense crit, I like to dump my leftover mana into the boost aura just to get the crit chance up, but let's go ahead and let it fly. And this will be one that we are going to just kind of boost it out here. So, one benefit you got about doing this map is the lanes are incredibly long. Enemies have a pretty good distance they have to walk, which means the PDS is just going to sit there and slap on them this entire time, and that is what we're really, really looking for here. See, these guys are all getting kind of raffle stomped right out of the gates. Very good. In fact, we probably don't even need to boost this one. With this setup, of course, if you You know, in fact, well, let's try to not boost it. If, you know, if you don't have your stuff completely dialed in, but you're still at all of, like, the rate caps and everything, then you'll have no problem getting through this one boosting here. So I think we're just going to be able to let it fly and get right through it. Now, Gates of Dragonfall is going to run a little quicker. It just is. We'll jump into that one and do a video on that one as well. I'm pretty sure Gates will run faster, though. However, this map is just gorgeous, man. They did a really great job with the Aquanos theme underwater here. I think they did good on this one. Just all the little attention to detail throughout the map is just absolutely incredible. And we're close enough. We can do a little round gathering up some mana. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll slam a few upgrades in here for, you know, the first wave. Once again, the more you upgrade it, same as always, you know, you guys know the routine. The more you upgrade it, the smoother the map is going to run overall. I'm just going to kind of throw just a few upgrades around here. And we'll drop a couple of rando ones on here and just let it fly. Once again, I'm going to try... I'm not sure. The bosses obviously will melt quicker if I boost it out on them. But we're going to try to get through it without boosting at all here. Everything just gets melted pretty darn readily. That is for sure. We'll have to check the overall times. That and how smooth Gates is going to be. Gates, of course, is a one-core map. It's very, very easy to beat that one. It's without a doubt the easiest map in the game. Between the PDS, the Elder Dragon from the Countess, you've just got a lot of opportunities to really, really steamroll that map. And like I said, I think it'll probably run a little quicker. So we'll have to time them and see the runtime difference between the two. Gates will be a little faster to build as well. Yeah, that Fire Commander got a little bit close, but not too terrible. Like I said, going to try to get through it without boosting. Just to see how it goes. Now, of course, you run around, once again, run around and collect up all the mana. And the more upgrades you have in, the stronger your build is going to be. However, I am just going to take what I get here and just spam some upgrades around. Of course, since we've got so many PDS slapped inside of this Boostara, we will want to keep an eye on its charges as well, as it will, you know, they go down super, super fast, that is for sure. You know, in fact, we can just let it fly and then get some upgrades in as the map is running here. Might as well multitask and get this done properly, since we're not boosting anyway. Let's get these upgrades in place. Try to just spread them out evenly. Here's our Earth Commander. Of course, we've got anti-heal. But it seems like there's not really an issue super often with a lot of the elements besides water. So you get a map with no water lanes, and I mean, it just... everything burns down pretty good. Our Frost Striker is getting all the way up into that spawn there. Mobs are making it out here. Now this build, of course, would never fly if we had chaos enemies in Elemental Rumble, as hex throwers from over here would just ruin all this stuff. Oh, we got a captain. Looks like the captain's going to get burned, though. Yeah, the captain got burned. All holding up pretty solid for the most part. This is probably the... Well, depending on how much faster Gates is. Like I said, I haven't timed it yet. I'm assuming Gates is going to be quicker. But if Gates is super, super fast and still runs very smoothly, without having to boost, I will probably... well, I'll grind either Gates or this one and just kind of grind it out a little bit this week. I've kind of, you know, to be completely honest, I've given up any hope of actually getting a fire set complete, as my luck has just been so terrible on my main account. My alt account gets the drops. Main account, not so much. So I would love to eventually get a fire set finished. But we're going to have to see how it goes. Just keep spamming them out and letting it run. The map's actually running a little bit slower than I thought it would. What, including the build time and the intro at the beginning, we're coming up on the 12-minute mark right now of the video, and I kind of thought the map would be done by now. But we still have all of Wave 4 and Wave 5 to go, so I think this is the easiest map to do, probably. Assuming you have the PDS. Without the PDS, if you have the Countess, I think Gates would definitely be the easiest one to do. But I am losing optimism as far as which one is the quickest. That is for sure. Earth Commander's just a slow burn there. Of course, if we boosted... I like to try to get these done without boosted for two reasons. First off, you know, to kind of show for with the build, if you have gear that's not quite up to par or not 100% dialed in yet, all you have to do is just play the map, or you can run the build and boost with it. But additionally, I kind of like to check the AFK factor as well. One thing Elemental Rumble definitely brings, and the game had no shortage of it already, is lots and lots and lots of grind. And of course, the more AFK you can get that done, you know, the higher quality of life, in my opinion. If you're going to have to do it a million times, be able to do something else at the same time. That's kind of my thought on Dungeon Defenders games. Yeah, it's definitely run slow. We're coming up on 14 minutes here. What, we're 13:50 here now, so certainly running slower than I anticipated. I actually already ran it once this week, but I wasn't really paying real close attention to the time or anything. We got an Orc Fire Commander this time. I think he'll get wrecked as soon as he starts getting electrocuted, maybe. The Earth Mage, of course, is going to take about 7 years to decide to go ahead and come on out. That guy going to get owned? He is still... Oh, there he goes. And our Earth Mage is going down now, too. And what? We got another commander up there. But slowly chunking away at the health on that one. $100 mobs left. So 100 mobs left and we're over 15 minutes. Like I said, I had mixed emotions at the beginning of the video before we started, but now that I'm looking at the time, I mean, Gates could very realistically be a much better grinder. Now, it would also go faster if I was boosting, because these mobs wouldn't have to take so many hits. So if you're active playing and you don't care about the AFK, I think this is still a pretty solid choice. You just have to boost it out. The captain just in the middle of that huge roadblock. That poor guy has got no chance on getting out of there. And there we go. We got 5 mobs left. Let's see if our box of glory is going to deliver this time around. I just love seeing that ancient loot beam up into the air. So I pop these chests a lot of times just looking for that. No dice today. No love on the pets either. But anyway, there we go. That is, once again, Coral Reef Town on hard Elemental Rumble. So thanks a ton for watching. Hopefully everyone's having a great week. And I will see you all soon. Take it easy, y'all.